it's more intensity, more competition. It's not just something you just do for fun. It's not a mental thing, but it's something that you need to work hard for, because each and every day you can do bad, you can do horrible. So it's just something that you'll learn. Me, when I grow up, I always want to be rich so I can take care of my family. Just really making sure I'm executing everything that I need to and what I worked, and bring that from practice to the competition meet. So I really love the entrepreneur side. It's really fun.
All right, welcome to the SPRTER Podcast, Jasmyn.
Hello.
Really nice to see you. Let me introduce you to our audience. We have the pleasure of talking to Jasmyn Reece, who is a collegiate track and field athlete, currently competes for the University of North Texas and the long jump mainly,
Yes.
has experience in 60 and 200 meters sprint, and committed to UNT from Cedar Hill High School, where she earned first place as a senior in the Lancaster Meet of Champions 2021 and set a new school record.
Yes.
Welcome to the show. Before we get started with that, let me also tell our audience about your experience store on the SPRTER app. So anyone wanting to connect with Jasmyn, make sure to head over to the SPRTER app store. Check out the experiences she offers there. Pretty amazing things to connect with Jasmyn on a deeper level. But let's dive into it. How did you start really loving track and field? Because at your level, you gotta love it.
Yes. So I shortly started running track around 6 years old. Like, I used to run everywhere in my apartment complex, everywhere my mom calls my name. I used to just run everywhere. And she'd be like, Jasmyn, just stop running, walk everywhere. So she just really realized that track was gonna be my sport. We found a little track little team in my hometown in Texarkana, Texas. And so we went from there, started running track, and felt like that was the best sport for me. And I truly started loving it.
And you then competed in high school, set school records.
Yes.
How did you go from, okay, I'm really good at this, to, oh, I could actually go to college, I could compete at the college level? Can you talk me through that and that progression, as well as what made you decide to join UNT?
Well, first I started off having a mindset of I just want to go to college. I want to make it big and still go to the Olympics. I first started off planning what I need to do, how I needed to get there, going to more training, finding a good training coach that I have. And Coach Kenny, he's currently in Dallas. He was my first training coach that helped me get to long jump, improve, work on the things I need to do. And so once I got there, I went to City Hill High School. I had a good coach there. I got more involved in sprinting. And so once I finally realized that I truly loved that, I wanted to do that more in college, because I just didn't want to just do it after high school and just quit. And that's something I've been doing for a long, long time. So that's the progress I got. And just breaking a record was something exciting I wanted to do, just to have my name in the school when I left.
Okay, and why UNT? I know they have a good program there, but why UNT and instead of all of the other schools around the nation?
First off, UNT is closer to home, where my parents and family can come watch me. They don't have to struggle to find a flight or nothing. And I want to stay in a small D1 school that I can actually get some understanding from a coach that can help me progress, and just be happy to be here and actually love the program, because the program is really good.
And what do you study, if you don't mind me asking?
I study kinesiology, physical therapy.
Okay, so you'll be able to learn more about what makes you even faster and jump further.
Yes, and muscles.
All right, wonderful. Since joining UNT, how is competing at the college level different to competing at the high school level?
I say it's more intensity, more competition. It's not just something you just do for fun. It's something that you actually need to compete, be there to really understand. It's not a mental thing, but it's something that you need to work hard for, because each and every day you can do bad, you can do horrible. So it's just something that you'll learn from. I like the collegiate a little better than high school. It's more competition.
Higher competition, usually that's the higher we go, the more of that competition we see. Have you been able to travel as part of the competitions as well, or
Yeah.
how's that getting you around the nation, and what was your favorite thus far to visit?
My favorite one, I say um Alabama, because I never been somewhere far in Alabama, and I always wanted to go to Alabama just to see it. But the day we went, it was kind of raining, so we didn't really get to go nowhere. But I liked the track. The track facility was fine. The food was good. I'd say another one would probably be New Mexico, because even though it's not the real New Mexico that I really wanted to go to, it's some type of New Mexico.
Okay. Now I know you're also an entrepreneur. You've
Yes.
launched your own product line. Can you talk us through how you went about that? How did that come? How did you think about the idea and why the brand, what it means to you, and what you've learned so far from that experience?
So I started off my brand because I always wanted to be a business owner. I always wanted to own my own shop and run everything. So I started off in really high school. I say around like 10th grade. I sewed lashes because I like to always wear lashes, but I don't really now. I do sometimes. And I started off, I found what I really wanted to do. I wanted to design my own clothing merch. And so I wanted to really design it where it was like rich apparel. Rich apparel is something like me. When I grow up, I always want to be rich so I can take care of my family and help them out. So that's where I got the name from, Rich Apparel. It has like, I sell like clothing, like lingerie, I mean loungewear, some pants, shirts, just casual stuff.
I saw the beanies, they look pretty
Yes.
cool. So have you gotten into the design? Are you doing that all by yourself, or how do you
I
learn about all of
I
that?
do most of all my designs by myself. I just think of some creative designs, draw them out on a sketchbook, and just really just go from there. I have some on my sketchbook. I think it's right here. I'll see. Let's see if it's in
All
this
right, we're getting a sneak peek right here.
one. I think I have it in this one. I'm not really sure. I can see if I can find it. See, I go from there like sketching out some of my
Okay.
clothing. Like these are jumpsuits, and I go about the
Yeah.
sizing and
Yeah.
like how I want to like tell my manufacturer to like design it and stuff. And I just draw my logos on there. I do that for most of my stuff, like dresses. And so that's
All
how
right.
I go about my designs and all that. So I really love the entrepreneur side. It's really fun. And you get to connect with like a lot of big people.
And what are some of the big learnings that you got from that? And where are some of the, whoa, this is not what I expected moments?
Some of the biggest, toughest learning experience that you would have is like when you first start a business, not everyone is going to really like your business, so you won't have a lot of sales. But to get sales, you have to put yourself out there, go out to people. Like if you're in a like the mall, just go out to people, hand your business out, let them know what your business is, and just really connect with higher entrepreneur people.
And I would assume that there's oftentimes that mental block as that, okay, well, as you said, people not immediately don't jump on it, and
Mhm.
unless you're, like one of the superstar athletes who are in the news all the time. But like, how do you overcome that mental barrier, as in, oh, I actually now need to talk to those people? How do you motivate yourself for that, and how do you go
Um,
about that?
I motivate myself to just keep pushing no matter what. If nobody buys my stuff, just keep launching your products out. Just keep working towards this, because one day it's gonna pay off, and somebody's big gonna DM you or text you asking to buy something. So just keep putting your products out if you want to keep having so much high standards for yourself, and just don't give up on yourself and doubt yourself.
Okay, so it's almost like you're applying that athlete mindset to, it's like, yep, you just grind it out and you train,
Yes.
You apply that to the business side. That's awesome. I've also seen you've got quite a few sponsors. There's been some brands that you worked with. What are some of the factors that make you say, yes, I want to work with this brand, or I want to stay away from brand X? What do you think? What do you consider there?
Some of the considerations that I think about when I look at different brands to go is if they either have a lot of NI deals that a lot of athletes do, and they have people that keep coming back. So I know that it's actually real and that they actually take their time out to reach to athletes to get them type of deals. I look for reputation, the communication that they have with the athletes, and like how they put their self out.
Okay, so it's how that brand also supports the athlete who they're sponsoring
Yes.
about that. Okay. So and then you mentioned how legitimate they are in a way. Okay. And I've seen quite a few movie deals and that you've promoted.
Yes.
Are you a big movie fan? And what's
Yes.
what's the last one?
I love movies. I haven't really been to movies like that. I just search and watch web movies that just pops up on my screen just to see the interest, and really I don't have like a favorite movie, but
What's the last series or movie you've watched that you're like, yes, this was awesome?
I just watched Outer Banks. Like I finished the whole season 3 in like 2 days. I'm really sad that I even finished it, but I'm gonna go back and watch season 1, 2, and 3 again. So
Okay, Outer Banks right here. All right, well, I've got to check that one. I haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah.
We do have a segment that we call Pro Advice, where we ask our followers to ask you a question. So anything that they would like to know. And first submission of Pro Advice reads, I'm looking to improve my jump and explosiveness. What are the best ways of doing that? And are there some of the best exercises you can recommend?
So I say first off, start doing like either if you're in long and triple jump, start doing like basic drills like skips for heights, skips for distance, then the long jumps. You can work on your technique coming off the box so you can know how to hang longer in the air. I would say most of that you can do on a grass. You don't have to have a pit. You can do on a high jump mat, like just jumping on a mat, working on your form, holding your legs out. Most of it starts off from really drills and learning how to do the basics of long jump.
Okay, basics of long jump and get those nailed down. Great. We also have a question here on our audience right now from Nazar Reddick. So the question reads, I want to run for North Texas. How do I join?
So how do you join the North Texas program? You will have to email the head coach, which is Coach Marshall. You have to email him all your information, send a text saying, hey, I would love to run for North Texas. Can I get an email back? Here's my, like, your 200 time, 100, whatever events you want to run for North Texas. Send all your events, send your videos, and then they will get in contact with you.
Okay, so it comes back to numbers, as in how quick are you actually?
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, when you run, what goes through your mind during a race, during a jump, and how do you prepare mentally for a competition?
So how I prepare for a competition, I put in my headphones, I listen to my Apple Music, whatever music just comes on, probably Lil Baby, NBA Youngboy, something that's hyper, so I can get myself just adrenaline running. And so I just make sure I get a good stretch in, good running, good drills, make sure everything is not tight, and make sure I'm really loose. And so my mindset was just really just going out there, executing what I need to, what my coach tells me, just really making sure I'm executing everything that I need to and what I worked, and bring that from practice to the competition meet.
And does Lil Baby still play in your head when you actually do the run, or do you completely tune them out?
I zone that out. I just really focus on what I need to focus on that's ahead of me, jumping. I stick to one thing in my head. If I'm not doing this right, this is what I'm thinking down the runway when I get there. Okay, have your knee drive out. Then when I get that done, I just say, okay, stand out, like fully hold it.
All
I just have
right.
like my ideas of what I need to do in my head.
All right, wonderful. How's a regular competition day look like for you? Including getting ready, eating. Is there any specific meal you always have? Are there any superstitions that you follow, or how does that look
So
like?
a regular competition meet, I wake up at 7. I go down for breakfast. I either eat me like a little bit of bacon, a bagel, and I put probably like some potatoes on my stuff. I'm not really a big morning eater. If I do eat a lot, it makes my stomach hurt, so I keep stuff short, and then I add like either some water and some apple juice. And after that, after I get done eating, I will go get rolled out, get treatment to make sure my body is nothing's wrong with my body, nothing before I go to meet. Get dressed, listen to some music, get dressed, do my hair, and then it's time to get on the bus and go compete.
All right. Now, one thing that you share on your Instagram that you share, you just talked about it. You do your hair, your nail. You have wonderful nails I saw on the story. So, what does that mean for you, or what does it mean to you to quote unquote look good during competition? In regards to, does it do anything for your self-esteem? Does it help you, or what does it mean in order to get ready for that meet and that competition?
Looking good in competition is not really my biggest thing. Um, I don't really wear nails, lashes. I just put on a little mascara, do my eyebrows, not too much, and but I'll mostly have my hair done. But other than that, I really don't really qualify for looking good at prep meets. I'm going there to compete, not to look good for anybody. So
Okay, down to business.
yes.
All right, I can appreciate that, because we do see a lot of pressure, particularly that female athletes face from society, um, and I appreciate it. Down to business. I'm here to jump really freaking far,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm gonna focus on. So that's awesome. Um, when we talk about societal pressure, do you feel any change in regards to women's sport lately? I think it's getting better. Do you feel that is part in track and field, or are we stuck in the early 2000s still?
I feel like they're doing better in track, but the one thing I do want them to change in track is like they don't really broadcast and support the field events. Like I feel like we're just left out. Like track is all about running. Like they get a little bit of us, but it's not like the whole scenery. I feel like long and triple jump, throws, pole vault, high jump should be getting shown more in track and field because we're still a part of track and field. We're just in the field event part.
Yeah, that's an interesting point that I rarely think about, was when you think about, oh, track and field. It's like, yep, it's the 100-meter sprint, and then well, where's the rest?
Yeah.
So I can see that, and particular long jump is, I think it's amazing to see the technique, that it's not just, yeah, obviously you jump very far, but it's also the technique that goes into that. So that's pretty impressive. But I can see that there needs to be more, we just need to see more and more support for that as well.
Yes.
Now, generally, we have a segment that we call Break the Rules, where we ask you to make a rule change to the game or to the competition. Now, for a long jump, I would assume there are not that many rules, but are there any other aspects that you would change that are part of a track and field meet, or any rules in relation to that, to the competition overall?
I feel like in long jump they should like second flight. Like since first flight they have a longer time to warm up. People in second flight, we only have a roughly about like 8 minutes to warm up, longer shorter than what typically like the first flight would have because they have time to warm up, go get on the runway before they run, and then have all that time. So like second flight we're getting there, having to warm up. They're rushing us because they want to get to finals. And so, like, it's feel like it's a big rush. Now, I finally realized that when we went to conference, like, the officials were just rushing us. They were just telling us to go, 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 like, hurry up. And I feel like they wasn't trying to be patient with us to, like, actually get our runways through. Another thing I say, like, when we go to the board, like, when they scratch us by, like, an inch, and, like, our toes have to come up like this to go off the board.
Mhm.
Like, they call that a scratch because our toes hit the foul line. I feel like that shouldn't be like something that they should call, because we can't jump off the board flat. We have to be on our toes to jump off. So I feel like that's a big concern that I will really want to change, and that I have a concern
So
about.
they're call it too stingy
Yeah.
about that,
Yeah.
and without you actually getting a benefit from it, right? It's like you can't do it any different.
Yeah.
Okay, that those are. So I didn't even think about those type of rules. So there are more rule changes that way than we need for long jump than I anticipated. That's interesting. Now you mentioned earlier on you're an entrepreneur. You want to take care of the family. You want to support them. Um, but as an entrepreneur, do you have any advice for someone who wants to feels exactly the same? What sort of pointers and advice do you have for someone to get started?
Um, I would say, to get started, there's multiple resources on, like, Google. You can go to, like, if you have like a brand that you actually like that's like local, you can either text them, ask them if you can do a one-on-one, like, constellation research brand that you want to get started with. And they, most of them have like brand startup guidebooks that you can start off with. I personally started my business off a app called Alibaba. It's like a app where it's like a lot of China manufacturers where they can make clothes, make shoes, tote bags, any type of thing that you made. They sell a lot of stuff on there where you can get in contact with the manufacturers, or many, like, manufacturers DM me asking to work with me, work with my brand, so you can reach out to them, get samples. So I can say that's the advice I can give you. Really, I don't really know much because I'm still learning. I'm still getting resources from other people and finding out the business ways. So yeah.
Okay, it's a good start. Alibaba is certainly one of those companies out there
Yeah.
that help with a lot of manufacturing. Great advice. Thank you so much. Now, that obviously takes a lot of time. You're a student,
Yes.
you're an athlete, and you're an entrepreneur. How do you balance that?
First, I make the student part come first, because I do have to have my grades up to perform. And then the athletic part and the entrepreneurial part comes after, like, mostly on weekends. I do most of my entrepreneurial, like, design stuff when I have free time. I mostly try to get all my work done, all my studying done. So if I do have free time, I mostly work on my business. I will work on my business if we're like on the road going to like a track meet. That's just free time right there. But I mostly focus on the student and then the athlete part. It's not
That's
really hard to manage. It's really easy. It's just really time management that you have to set.
and how do you go about time management? Do you have a planner where you have lots of to-do lists, or how do you go about
I
that?
do have a board right there. I haven't wrote on it this month, but like I set out like a calendar, or I have like a booklet that I look at, and I write down all my like assignments, the days that is due, the time that is due, what I have this day. If we have a team meeting, we have practice at that time. So I'll go about really that, how to manage my time. And
Okay.
then whatever free time I have, I just put on, like, if I have like 2 weeks off from a track meet, on weekends, go spend time with my family or friends, do something fun.
Okay. Well, fun is important to not forget in all of those different aspects.
Yes.
And aspect about that, whether it's sponsorship and any of those aspects, have there been some tensions with the coaches or with other teammates about, oh, you got this sponsorship, why did I not get the sponsorship? Or you're spending too much time on this NIL deal. Have you seen any of that yourself or witnessed with that with other teammates?
No, I haven't.
Okay, that's good to hear. Seems like a very good chemistry within the
Yes.
team then.
Yes, it does.
And it seems like everyone is able to prioritize what's really important,
Yes.
which really is, as you mentioned, keeping the grades up and making sure you get the degree down the road.
Yes.
Now, as all of this, we always ask for our audience, our interviewees, we always ask them to give one recommendations for the future generation. What would be your recommendation for the future generation wanting to compete in long jump?
The future recommendation I would give is to never stop working, even though you think that you have an off day. Go out there and do something, go stretch, do yoga, but never stop working. Keep pushing yourself. Never doubt yourself, telling yourself that you cannot do it, because there's a day that you will do it and you be like, why did I doubt myself? I just tell you to actually get with somebody a coach that will actually help you progress. If you don't see no progress and you still sticking with them, it's just probably because you love them. I always say that, but at the end of the day, they want to see you get to the top of the level. So just go find somebody that you know that will help you progress. Another thing is eating. Make sure you're on top of your eating, because that plays a big factor in track and your body. You want to make sure your body is slim, not too heavy, because if it's too heavy, then it won't allow you to run as fast as you want to. Make sure you have good abs. That's one thing in long jump. You have to abs help you hold yourself in long jump, and that's a big factor that you see in most Olympics. They have abs. So that's really all the recommendations I would just say.
Good abs. I mean, that sounds like a recommendation that everyone should be following.
Yes.
But you're absolutely right. A lot of the long jumpers or triple jumpers, everyone's like, yo, you look ripped. So I want to follow up on that. How do you, and yes, nutrition is important, but the training, how do you go about like keeping motivated for that type of intense training that you're going through?
Mostly I just have coaches that's always there for me, telling me the right thing. I have my family right there beside me, helping me out. Just really, I have motivation and supporters right there that keep me motivated and to keep going.
Okay. Make sure you surround yourself with that support system.
Yes.
That's great advice. And I want to be cognizant of your time. Really appreciate you joining our show today. For all of our audience, make sure to connect with Jasmyn on all of the socials. Head over to the SPRTER app for some awesome experiences that she offers there. I'm really intrigued about that day in the life of experience. So there's lots of awesome aspects to check out. Make sure to connect with her, and thank you so much for joining us on the SPRTER podcast today.
You're welcome.
Good luck, and good luck with 2023 and for all of your goals that you have planned out. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.